Hey guys, I'm Jimmy. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Movieclips Instant Trailer Review Show.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Andrew.
And we're here to review the Ender's Game trailer that just came out.
Now, a little bit of a disclaimer. None of us have read the Ender's Game book by Orson Scott Card.
I didn't even know it was a book.
We're reviewing the trailer, what came out today. So anything we say is not based on our knowledge or lack thereof of the book.
So fire away at us.
It's just the trailer. Say what you will.
Layman's perspective.
Yeah, just dig in real deep.
And let's do that, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Let's dig in. Now, you wanted to talk about this.
I just want to throw something out there. This MPA title card, you're not fooling anybody. I know some kid made this with like Windows Movie Maker.
And that's what we have to say about that.
It's new. It's updated.
It's a little new, but it looks a little old. I don't know.
Anyway, so this trailer opens with a bang and opens with some Harrison Ford. Now, it really starts off strong here.
Now, I'm going to say something at the risk of sounding like a total noob to all you who know about the book.
Right.
But later on, you'll understand what I mean later on. But we see people in space and all this stuff like that. You would think that if we have the technology for like space stations and mind control, all this stuff like that our fighter jet fleet would be a little more updated.
Well,
than
this
like
is during the invasion.
Initial
F-35
one.
Raptors.
This is the initial invasion.
So it's 70 years later after this, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, but just playing devil's advocate here. If we're gonna jump ahead that far in technology, wouldn't the aliens have just completely annihilated us?
I guess so.
Well, if Randy Quaid shows up.
Randy Quaid shows
So we
up.
have
that's wrong.
voiceover by Harrison Ford.
And is it just
playing
me?
Colonel Hiram Graff is
Right.
his name, or Hiram.
Yeah.
They should name him Colonel Hiram Gruff.
Yeah,
because that's
real
how
gruff.
he sounds.
Super gruff guy.
As he always is. Oh, I was just saying his voiceover. I actually thought it was Ben Kingsley for a second, and then it took me a minute to realize it was Harrison.
Now, spoiler
We
alert:
saw him.
Ben Kingsley is sporting quite the homage to Mike Tyson in this film.
Ben Kingsley goes for it in every movie, and I'm happy to see him everywhere. He was in Iron Man 3.
Amazing.
This weekend. I'm loving the look of these space shots.
Yeah, I really like the way everything looks here.
Actually, we should say
kind of
this movie
reminds
was
me
directed by Gavin.
reminds me of Prometheus a little bit.
The color palette sure.
The color palette really.
This blue and
back.
yellow kind of thing.
It's just like muted with like pops of color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this movie was directed by Gavin Hood, who directed a movie called Sozi.
Yeah.
Which was an African movie.
Quite
Very good movie.
Quite good.
And X-Men Origins Wolverine.
But we won't hold that all against him.
Wow.
The aesthetic that we've seen in this
For the
trailer,
record, I
really
enjoyed X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Why?
Because I did.
You want to put yourself out there like
I'm
that?
going to. I'm looking at you, audience, and I'm telling you right now, I enjoyed X-Men Origins Wolverine. I paid good money
Jimmy stared
to
into
see
his
it.
own grave.
In the theater.
Man.
I enjoyed it.
What were you doing while watching it? Because that's the only explanation.
I had my eyes open and my
Okay. So okay.
you know, I was just letting it soaking it in like a sponge.
I really like the aesthetic that they're showing. I like the color palette a lot. It's all really saturated and vivid.
Yeah,
I love this zero G stuff.
This is amazing. See, this is like what Tron should have been. Sorry, Joseph Kosinski.
Wow. Like,
Messed
and
up.
also, if you look, like, all the frames are just so like packed full and like busy and have this future like kind of what they were going for in Star Trek, that idea of like the future is so big it can hardly be contained.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool.
But I love this look. See, I feel like there was this notion of a few years back where everything in the future had to be polished and shiny and clean. And now there's this new kind of aesthetic that is everything is this, like I said, it's this muted natural tones that are matte. And then you have these pops of color that are really glossy and shiny, but everything is like this smoothed over matte finish that you just like, you can almost feel exactly.
There's a textural.
You can see it, but you know exactly what it would feel like if you were to touch it. I love it.
Yeah, it's like having a scene that you feel like you could smell the air.
Yeah. Exactly.
I like that the aliens move around in swarms.
Yeah.
Like bees.
Cool.
It's quite interesting. Apparently they're like ants, aren't they? They maneuver like ants.
I mean,
like in swarms.
Perhaps.
There you go.
Here's Asia Butterfield. He hasn't grown up yet, but he
from
will.
Hugo. Well, he looks older than he did in Hugo.
Definitely looks older than he did in Hugo.
Good little actor. Really good in that Hugo. He's reuniting with Ben Kingsley.
In fact, when I first saw this trailer, I was just imagining this as a sequel to Hugo, where they're playing in one of his sci-fi films.
We'll see. I mean, we haven't read the book. I don't think there will be such a twist at the end.
Unless M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, so this is when I said to myself, it's Hunger Games in space, which is like right about here when we saw this logo.
Yeah, and I think that'll be. It also looks like Legends of the Hidden Temple in space a little bit.
It does.
I think
The green
that'll
iguanas.
be.
He's on the green iguanas.
Yeah, the silver monkeys. That'll be what they'll be fighting against, I feel like. The same way Hunger Games was like, oh, it's like Twilight. This will be like, oh, it's like Hunger Games. But this has been around for so long.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna throw something else out here. I really like this little rubber thing, but I've always wondered, like, why do they put the braille next to it? I mean, like, you know, I just don't know. It's weird.
Well, maybe in the future, braille is.
People are okay with touching each other.
I guess so. In the future, it's cool to just like, you know, reach out and touch.
I can't wait to be in the future.
So there's Ben Kingsley.
Wow.
Boom.
And there's his face tattoo.
Cue the like dramatic
The
music.
Inception music. That's where they should have played it.
That is the most intense face makeup I've ever seen. Ever.
Yeah.
Like, ever.
Crazy tattoos. I wonder how long it took.
He really is. I actually saw a guy with a face tattoo like this once.
I actually heard Ben Kingsley actually got this face tattoo.
The guy I saw though, he could climb a palm tree with his bare hands.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty badass.
Slide down naked.
Yeah, he was a Maori like New Zealander guy.
Whoa.
Oh, there
He's
you go.
pretty badass.
Jimmy's a guy who knows some guys.
Yeah.
He's really scary. He rocked a machete all day.
Everything I can. Wow.
So
shot. That's
just from the synopsis on IMDb, this takes place 70 years after the initial attack from the aliens, and they're supposed to be training Ender to be a military general, kind of.
Are they?
Like he's the one who's going to change everything.
He's part of the program. I assumed that he was part of a program where they train a bunch of kids to do stuff.
Yeah.
But
the implication they're giving in this is like he is the one,
right,
who will change everything. This shot looks very much like the
He's
shot
like
in
the
Watchmen
Neo
when
of
they're on
space.
Mars.
It does, yeah.
See, this is
Gavin
what I really
Hood.
Haley.
Careful,
yeah,
Andrew.
be very careful.
No, she's great in True Grit.
She is. She's
If I
amazing.
was like, Asha, all right, I get where you're coming from.
Okay, I hear it now. She was amazing in True Grit.
I see what I
She was nominated for an Oscar, correct?
Yeah, she was nominated.
Great little actor. This is full of great little actors.
Ben Kingsley.
Great little actor.
Great little actor.
Actually, Ben Kingsley, if you look at this shot, it's the same exact shot as before. He's just wearing a different shirt.
And the next shot.
They're telling you with all of the
There he is again.
Different shirt.
There's a lot of Academy Award nominees.
Well, you know what though? There's something to be said for the caliber of actors in a movie like this.
Yeah, I just wish it ended with and the director of Wolverine Origins.
Come on, man.
Give
it a break.
What's really interesting is that Gavin Hood has a sole screenwriting credit on this.
Yeah.
Which is really surprising.
Yeah, it is.
For a movie like this. Usually studios don't trust.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I'm guessing.
I think they actually tried to get Kurt Zinurki to do a pass at the scripts and it ended up just being Gavin.
They were like, Ben Kingsley, we refuse to work with him.
So I'm guessing, again, from not knowing anything, I'm guessing they've kind of had some battles with this alien horde at some point between the beginning and the start of the film, and they've taken over one of their bases because this looks kind of like looks like the Hive,
biomechanical kind of stuff.
Interesting.
And it looks like it's almost like retro. You see like these really stark contrasts with the color and everything like that.
Viola Davis who's an amazing actress. She got nominated for an Oscar in a movie called Doubt.
Amazing.
She was
And
incredible.
The Help.
In. Was she not? I don't know if
she was nominated for The Help as well.
She's great.
She's an amazing actress. I'm happy every time. She's in Beautiful Creatures actually, which kind of.
She's a great part about it.
With Academy Award nominee Abigail Breslin from Little Miss Sunshine. So Asa Butterfield's like the only person in here who hasn't.
He's like, Oscar.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm the lead in the movie.
Yeah. All right, can we
now,
pause
can we just break this down a little bit?
Really mad.
Let's just break this down. Okay, so she hugs him. He looks off. Harrison Ford looks mad.
I'm saying daughter, granddaughter.
Yeah, the implication here is that Harrison Ford ain't so happy about this hug. And Asa Butterfield doesn't care that he doesn't care.
Because he's Ender.
He's hugging just to spite Harrison Ford.
This isn't called Colonel Hiram Graff's game.
Well, here's the thing. Colonel Graff was originally, they were flirting with the idea of making it a female. And not only a female, but a dry-witted comedic female.
Kristen Wiig.
But they wanted to get Rosie O'Donnell. I'm not even joking here. That makes the second time that Harrison Ford has replaced Rosie O'Donnell in a movie.
Oh, it's the first.
regarding Henry.
Harriet
but
the Spy.
Regarding Henry.
Harriet the Spy.
I'm joking.
Oh,
But
thank God.
Harriet the Spy, yeah, it was originally
Yeah, he was
gonna be
originally
like-
supposed to be the nanny in Harriet
It was
the
going to
Spy.
be like a film noir.
What?
Yeah.
Harriet.
Yeah.
I'm just totally.
Also,
lost.
he was going to replace her in another stakeout. If I may.
The Fugitive?
Hold on.
Right.
Breaking news. So, on IMDb,
It still works. In The
Ender,
Fugitive,
his
if
name
it's-
is Ender Wiggin, and Abigail Breslin's name is
You know what I mean? Right?
We're getting so sidetracked. It does work.
It still works in The
Yeah,
Fugitive.
Rosie
If
O'Donnell.
Rosie O'Donnell's in The Fugitive,
Yeah.
it still works
Even with the wife.
because she didn't
dying.
kill
Yeah.
her wife.
Yeah.
But
Wait, what?
I don't know. Anyway, Abigail
she's
Breslin is
alive.
credited as Valentine Wiggin, who
Oh, man.
assumedly is
Right.
related to Ender Wiggin.
Yes.
So
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know
Okay,
why
I see what you mean.
Harrison Ford is so upset about this brother and sister hugging each other, but
I think he's got
find
big
out.
plans for Ender because like Viola Davis is all super. This
I can't get
shot,
enough
man,
of
I
this
can't.
zero-G
I honestly,
stuff.
this zero G battle just looks so amazing.
and it looks like a training exercise.
Well, there's like lasers going off in the background. It looks almost like the
wonder
disc.
if
It looks like Disc Wars from Tron, but with zero gravity.
Yeah.
Right.
It looks like if the Disc Wars met Cerebro.
Oh no, there's actually there's a second person that they're pushing
Oh, yeah.
pushing
yeah.
off of each other.
The old Ender's Game alley-oop. Even that shot's awesome too. I love the design of the spaceships. Like you said, everything has this texture to it. That I mean, this movie's a while out. Doesn't come out until November.
Really?
And so they have a while to work on the
Kinda
VFX,
reminds me of the
and it looks
Blockade
amazing.
Runner.
It looks a little like the Blockade Runner. It looks a little like the ship in 2001,
Right.
which the Blockade Runner probably looked like.
Digital Domain was going to do the special effects, and then they got tanks
wow.
in the middle, so nobody really knew if that meant that
This
the
is
film was
awesome.
going to be delayed or anything. I don't understand what he's
That's
doing
the Tron
there.
simulator.
He's
So-
like
he's
sending
doing-
off like a pulse wave into like an asteroid field
With his body.
Well, there's
No,
like
it's like
just don't know.
a Minority
I don't know.
Report thing. You know, like he's
Okay.
like, shoo.
Funny, you paused it here. You can see on the left and right that
The swarms?
The swarms are just mirrors of each other. The whole thing's just mirrors. Oh wait, not exactly, but that is.
They are somewhat symmetrical. So Ender's Game.
Anyway.
I mean, people have been waiting for this movie for a really long time.
Really
people
long
love
time.
this book.
I think one of the comments I wrote was, "Please don't mess this up."
Ah.
Were they talking to us?
I don't know.
No, I think they were talking about the movie.
I think they were just talking about the movie.
To be honest,
Because I'll tell you right now, I have no involvement with this film. So if there's anything wrong
Not
with it, don't
invested.
come to me.
I'm not getting much out of this trailer.
Really?
I love the images, and I feel similar to this as I did about the Thor: The Dark World trailer.
Oh,
where
see, I
as
was
a
excited
trailer,
for that.
I don't know what was really going on, but the images that I was seeing were very exciting
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
I just think that we've
At
been
least
having a lot of sci-fi come out recently.
Dude, it's a good year for sci-fi.
A great year for sci-fi.
we'll see.
Like even
They thought it
stuff.
was a good year for Taylor Kitsch too.
After I mean, we have Elysium coming out. We've had Oblivion, After Earth, and this all kind of looks like it's nothing speaking to me about it.
Really?
It's not speaking to Andrew. Like it spoke to many young adults
Millions
who read the
of-
I don't
Millions
know.
of
I
people
think
who read- But I've read
I
the
think
book,
this
so-
movie is going to make a lot of money.
I think it's going to be good.
I
think Gavin Hood, he was down and out from the X-Men Origins Wolverine, even though Jimmy loved it. But pros and cons of the trailer. So, for me, the images are great.
Action,
Gavin
action,
Hood,
action.
I really like Sozi. The cast is amazing. The cons for me is just that it was unclear about a plot. But I don't need that from a trailer, you know?
Right.
It was enough to get me going.
I'll tell you my pros and cons right now. Zero gravity, some kind of Disc Wars thing. It looks like they're doing it right for me. I love the imagery as well. Kind of reminded me of the opening of the new Man of Steel trailer. You know, it just starts with like the battle.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
kind of
that's
just like,
cool.
what?
Yeah.
Cons? Honestly, I don't see many cons right now. It's a great year for sci-fi.
It's certainly a great year for
shaping
original
up to be.
sci-fi too, because a lot of original stuff has been coming out, which is awesome. I pros for me. I think the special effects look fantastic. Like they're flawless so
Yeah.
far from what we've seen. And pros is it's based off of this hugely successful book. I know absolutely nothing about it, but I'll take the millions of people who have read it for their word that it's pretty darn good and probably worthy of a movie.
Well, for a long time, they were trying to figure out, like a lot of directors were coming in and out, and they were trying to find
Yeah.
the right director for it. So for a studio to take that much care with something,
Yeah.
usually you could be pretty confident that they landed it on the right guy.
Right.
This was in high demand. They could have gotten a lot of different people.
Cons for me, there's nothing particularly unique, and this is just from this trailer, and this trailer is basically all I know about this entire universe. So cons for me, nothing about it screams anything unique. You know what I mean? It's stuff that we've seen kind of in other movies. It's
the drawback of that, the unfortunate byproduct of that, is that those movies probably got it from the novel.
Exactly. That becomes a John Carter problem. You know?
Yeah.
Where John Carter kind of just seemed like a bad amalgamation.
Shades of this reminded me of John Carter, but it looks infinitely better than John Carter.
I thought John Carter looked pretty cool from the trailers, so I don't know.
I mean, we could go on and on all day about John Carter.
Especially those early trailers.
Yeah, those early trailers for John.
But let us know what you think, because I'm sure a lot of people have read the book Ender's Game and have a lot of feelings about this trailer. So
And they're probably so upset that none of us have read it.
Well,
Sorry,
that's
guys.
just, I mean, that's really...
We don't have time for that.
That really says more about the educational system than us, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
No one made us read it. Anyway, comment below. We will be watching and commenting back. And until next time, I'm Ryan.
I'm Jimmy.
I'm Andrew.
Thank you for watching. I'm sorry, Taylor Kitsch.